When we think of Britain, we think about their involvement in almost every country's history, and not in a good way. Also, we think of One Direction and, of course, the Queen. There are not many monarchies left, so it's understandable that why we are so fascinated by the royal family in England. But do you really know the person behind the crown? The woman behind the kingdom? Find out some royal secrets in the newest episode of Explain. Astonishing facts about Queen Elizabeth II. Number 1. She was not born an heir to the throne. Now, before the FBI agent who spies on you goes crazy, she did eventually become an heir. But she was born on par with the lowly status of Princess Beatrice, which is still royalty, but really not important. That changed when her uncle gave up his right to the throne to marry an American beauty, Wallis Simpson, which was just, wow. We would call them a cute love story, but both supported the Nazis, so we're just going to focus on our girl Elizabeth. So, after her uncle gave up the throne, her father rose up to power and eventually caused her to become queen. Number 2. She didn't go to school. No, she is not illiterate, but turns out uber-rich people don't like their children playing who can eat the most mud with poor kids in public school. Shocker. Not that we're implying that British kids eat dirt. She was homeschooled by just some unknown people like Archbishop of Canterbury. Also, why do all places in England sound like they possibly cannot exist? Fact number 3. She served in World War II. When Elizabeth was just 14, she used to plead to her father to let her participate in the war in any way. She eventually started a radio broadcast to help children and soldiers who had gone off to war. Although this effort was solely for cheering up the people of England, eventually she became the only living head of state to serve in World War II. She joined Auxiliary Territorial Service as a truck driver and worked as a mechanic as well. A far cry from the glitz that is usually a part of every royal's life, we're assuming. Not only that, she celebrated the end of the war like everyone else, on the streets. Her and her sister sneaked out to join the throngs of people dancing on the streets of London when Winston Churchill announced that the war was at an end. Number 4. She almost got hitched. It is common knowledge that Elizabeth married her third cousin, Prince Philip, but not many people know she was about to get married without informing anyone. Elizabeth met Philip at the wedding of their relatives when she was 8. She fell for him when she was 13 and he was about to go off to war. In the following years, they saw each other extremely rarely. Eventually, Philip got around to proposing, and she said yes without asking her parents. Gasp. It was approved later, though, but only if she waited until she was 21. Her wedding dress was paid for by war coupons, but was not an inch less extravagant than you'd expect it to be. In fact, only its replica in the series, The Crown, cost $40,000. Elizabeth and Philip have gone together some 70 years and are still going strong along with 4 children. Number 5. She technically does not need many kinds of legal documentation. It seems grossly unfair that we have to check our passports every 2 seconds, when the Queen, who already has everything, does not even need to be so slightly inconvenienced. Well, it's because the British passport is given in the name of Her Highness. But when you are Her Highness, it makes no sense to have a passport. Or a driver's license. We can't imagine which poor chap would demand to see Elizabeth's license, but nobody has to because it doesn't exist. And she doesn't need to pay income and capital gains tax. She does so voluntarily, but we are still steaming from the injustice of it all. So let's move on to number 6. She has survived some traumatizing situations. I suppose it comes within the job description that when you're queen, some people are going to try and kill you. It's just one of the facts of a royal's life. The closest anyone has ever come to assassinating Elizabeth was a teenager from New Zealand. He was the classic disturbed guy, animal torturer, and pyromaniac and had a serious obsession with Charles Manson's cult. He got a .22 and fired in public when Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip visited New Zealand. He was immediately arrested and questioned an upward of 8 times, but only charged with 3 years as they could not prove that he had intended to kill Elizabeth. New Zealand police is reported to have hidden the seriousness of the crime, but that mystery remains unsolved. On a less serious but still unpleasant note, a man broke into her room, like the BFG, but it was not as cute. The guy was arrested and described her as running away with her quote-unquote bare little feet. Creepy. Number 7. She lives the dream of a pet connoisseur. Elizabeth owns more animals than you can even dream of. She owns every dolphin and whale in British waters, 30 corgis, not all at once of course, has received a bull elephant, 2 black beavers, and 2 tortoises. Take that, Karen, always bragging about the single stupid llama in your backyard. Number 8. She is a record holder of so many records. The most famous record she holds is being the longest-serving monarch. In fact, 81% of UK residents have not witnessed another monarch. She is the oldest monarch to celebrate the Golden Jubilee at the age of 76. The Jubilees refer to celebrating the 25th, 50th, 60th, or 70th anniversaries of something. She is also the first monarch to ever celebrate a diamond and platinum wedding anniversary. Also, she has outlasted 13 US presidents and has made over 260 trips around the world. There you go. The most interesting facts about the once most eligible lady in all of England. Do you think we should be envious of her life, and why? Comment below and we'll pin the best one. Fair warning. If you comment that we should be envious because of the assassination attempt, we will call the authorities. Harsh, but on the bright side, you'll know we care. Make sure you like this video and share it with the most posh and pompous people you know. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for videos that we make, knowing a treason charge might be around the corner. Good day, mate.